Everybody, Mandus Buckle here with Maximum Muscle Report. We're at Bev Francis Gym, 3 days out from the New York Pro. And look at who's sitting to the left, Brandon Hendrickson, and to the right, Andre Ferguson. Now, I know there's a lot of talk out there about who's the top guy in this division, who's the #2 guy in this division. I think it's pretty safe to say that there's 4 guys at the top. And this is due to their level of success as well as longevity. And you've got the champ, Jeremy Buendia. Obviously, he's sitting at the top. Ryan Terry, and you 2. And you 4 are in a class by yourselves. On any given day, any one of you 4 can beat the other. And then I think there's a list of another 6 or 7 guys who are in the next tier. But that's it. It's you 4 and that's it. Brandon, you know, you came out as a rookie at the Olympia a few years ago. You placed 5th. You came back the following year, won the Arnold, had a lot of momentum going in, and didn't do any other shows. Placed 4th at that Olympia. Now, I actually got a chance to sit down and talk to you, Andre, last year when Brandon took 4th, and you thought he could have won the show.
But I say could have and should have is 2 different things. Should have is subjective, but yo, any one of us could have won that show.
Right.
Like, it was so close. It was just how it landed. And I'm not mad at how it landed because it is what it is. Like, it was that close. I don't envy the judges' position at all. It's hard what they do.
Absolutely. Now, you know, with that being said, again, a lot of people would say, hey, well, there's a couple other people, somebody else finished 3rd or something last year. But you can't finish in the top 4 or 5 one time and be considered the top 4. Brandon, how you feel going into this show right now?
My body and my mind have never been so in tune in, 4 years of bodybuilding. Level of confidence went all the way up, probably to its max. I feel really, really good going into the show. One thing I really changed was, you know, my mentality as far as, you know, my outside life. You know, I cleaned that up, and, you know, I'm not in the same situations as I was anymore, and I really got to focus on bodybuilding and this prep. And because of that, my body responded really well. So 3 days out, you know, I feel really confident going into the show.
Now, Andre, we know you're never short of confidence. See, you know, you always say, hey, every show that you're going to compete in, you're here to win.
It's business as usual, man. Business as usual.
No, Andre, you know, all joking aside, though, you're a guy who does compete a lot. A lot.
I'm not going to sit home on the couch if I'm in shape. I'm in shape all year. So once the season gets rolling, you might as well compete. Why not take the money?
You know, and there's some talk, though, last year. Some people said maybe you did a few too many shows. But then again, it was your best placing at the Olympia. So I don't know what they're really saying.
Doesn't the ends justify the means? That's all I got to say for that one.
Now,
There's plenty of people who won one show. Look, everyone at the Olympia won a show, besides the people who got top 5 in points. A lot of people won one show and went and sat down, and they didn't end up in the top 5.
So what do you think about in the past the fact that Brandon only did really the Arnold and the Olympia?
Winning the Arnold kept him in the top 5, but not doing any shows, he lost the relevancy. You have to stay in their faces, in my opinion. But look, at the same time, you can win a big show just like Ryan Terry did. He's doing the same thing. He won the Arnold, and he's sitting down because you're automatically in the top 5. And not for nothing, that's all you really want is a shot to try to win. So I tell everybody, the goal going into a show, yeah, everybody wants to win, but the first goal is getting into first call-out. That's the first goal. Because being in first call-out means I have a chance to win the show.
Now, Brandon, this is the first time in a couple years now that you are doing more than just the Arnold and the Olympia. Mm-hmm. And it's paid off for your physique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is last year, like we were talking about. I won the Arnold, and I went straight to Olympia. Just because I felt like I won, so we might as well go ahead and shoot for the big show, which was the Olympia. But the next show after that was the Arnold, which I placed third. So right now I feel like I'm kind of like going on a redemption run. Personally, I need that feeling of winning back in my heart, and just personal reasons, why I want to compete again and go on this run. So we're here in New York, 3 days out, and I'm ready to see what we can do.
What this is, guys, this is the third biggest show you can do. It's the Arnold, it's the Olympia, and it's the New York Pro.
When you see that competitor list, this is an Olympia. This is minus the top two guys. This is an Olympia, and it's like that for every division. It's not like that from just men's physique. Go look at 212. Go look at classic physique. Go look at women's physique. Go look at bikini. It's stacked. This show. If you want to come to a regular show that's not the Arnold and not the Olympia, and it's only a pro show, this is the show to come to. No amateurs here.
Do either one of you guys ever think about who else is doing a show when you're going to decide to pick a show?
Never. I feel like looking at other people is giving them energy and taking away energy from me. I'd rather keep 100% of my energy on me and focus on me and not anyone else. So I don't really worry about who's going to be at the next shows. I mean, obviously I know who will be at the bigger shows, like Andre, guys, top guys like that. But I don't really focus on that. I don't be on his page looking to see what he's doing or what he looks like. I keep my energy and my focus on myself.
Like, don't get it twisted. I catch Brandon on the timeline, and I'm going to double tap when I see it. But I don't focus on individuals. Like I tell people, everyone's here to win the show. So how am I focused on one person? No, I'm focused on the throne. Like, it's the top spot I'm focused on. I'm not focused on individuals is taking away from your real actual focus. So what in every show, I say there's about, no matter what show you go to, there's about 3 guys who can legitimately win the show. So what are you going to focus on, just those 3 guys? No, focused on winning.
With that being said, again, when we talk about you 4, and that's the 2 of you, Jeremy and Ryan Terry, if the 4 of you show up to any show and you're at your best, the only other athlete who could beat one of you 4 is one of the other 3. So it does matter.
Yeah, it's true, and don't get it twisted. I got caught slipping 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh. I've never done a night show before, so the prejudging at nighttime, we went conservative on the food when my body needs a lot of food. So I was a little off during prejudging, but finals I nailed my look again. But you can clearly tell they weren't rejudging at finals. The show was over at prejudging. It was already over.
Brandon, did you even bother to look or think anything about what happened at Pittsburgh? Did it slow you down coming into New York, or were you more thinking, ooh, I might get his best punch now coming to New York after Pittsburgh?
Well, it's kind of hard to not see the shows. I'm a fan of guys like Andre and Raymond and George Brown. So, I'm being a fan, I want to know what's happening in these shows.
Right.
But as a competitor and as their competition, I don't really, focus on how they're doing or how they did it at that show. I'm really just, like I said, I'm keeping the energy and the focus on me. Every show is different. Everyone brings a different look to each show. So I can't look at who won the Pittsburgh Pro and expect them to do the same thing in New York. So you just never know. It's going to be a different story this weekend.
When you think about everybody else out there in their division, who's your favorite men's physique athlete besides yourself?
I would have to say Dean Balabas. I think he has a great proportion. He always brings great shape and conditioning. I'm just a fan of his shape. And I would say Andre Ferguson, too. Even when I was coming up as an amateur, his shape has just always been something that I had admired. Just the balance and his consistency has been something that I've always admired. So definitely Andre. Not to be cliche, because he's right here, but it's just the truth.
I know it's true because you and I have had conversations about it. So, yeah. Andre, when it comes to respecting the package that somebody brings to the stage in your division, who would you say you kind of say, hey, that guy always brings it?
Yo, George Brown's my guy, but there's two people creeping up in my favorites. Like, I love the champ. I love his physique. I always have. And just my personal favorite dude that's like, he's not even the best out there, but he's on the come up, is Scott Dennis, man. Dude looks raw. And he's getting overlooked because he had to take some time off to actually put on the size to compete with people. But now he doesn't have to do that anymore. So look out for Scott Dennis. He's on the way up now. He's on the way up now.
You know, Andre, you've always been a guy who's very vocal. You speak your mind. You tell it like it is. You don't hold back. And one of the few people I've actually heard you give props to on more than one occasion is Brandon. I know there's a huge respect factor here with the two of you.
To me, it's a given. Like, look, if you're not trying to give him his props, you're doing something wrong here. Because it's like, if you're consistently beating the field, how are you being overlooked? Like, come on. And it's like, all right, what, everybody sees it but you? Come on, dude. You're hating. Like, that's the only way you're going to not give somebody their props is if you're hating. I give the credit when it's due, and I also tell you somebody sucks when they suck.
Right. And Brandon, I know one of your philosophies in your camp is not only to work on your physique, but you do like to take a look at what the other one or two top people in your division are, what they're doing, what they look like, compare and contrast, as any great athlete does. And up until last year, there was a respect for Andre, but he hadn't quite been tugging on your cape, so to speak, until recently. And I know now he's one of the athletes that you do pay attention to his physique. You do see the changes. How much do you take that in consideration? What are you thinking about as you see him compete and win show after show after show?
Yeah, I mean, the look changes every show, every year. So I like to keep up with, who I'm a fan of and who's doing well in the industry, in the sport. Yeah, I do look at guys like Andre to see, how are they going? What's the look for this stage? How is the look transitioning in the league? So, it's been every year it changes. So I always try to keep up with that change.
Definitely, it's definitely evolution. It's like it's been evolving, and like to me, first and foremost, I'm a fan of bodybuilding. Like I'm a fan of bodybuilding. Like I go to shows and I want to watch. I want to watch. So
let's talk about the guy who took third last year. Came out of nowhere, really, and Jeremy Potvin at the Olympia. Did the Arnold this year. There was a lot of hype about him. I don't. Did he finish sixth, fifth, sixth?
He was behind me.
Fourth, fifth.
Fourth,
fifth.
And that
George Brown got fifth or fourth?
George got fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah.
Okay, and that might have been a little bit of a gift. He looks good, but he's definitely slipped from where he was. Do you think it was a one-hit wonder, or I mean, is he a guy who now you guys are both going to be looking out for come the Olympia, or you're not really worried?
The one-hit wonder part is yet to be seen. So, like, his next showing will tell us all of that. That will tell us all of that. But listen, some people just lose focus, man. Everyone's got a lot of things going on in their life, but I tell people, even I got shit going on in my life, but at the end of the day, nobody cares. The judges are judging bodies on a stage. No one cares about your girlfriend. No one cares you might have lost your job. They don't. They don't care. It doesn't matter. They're all excuses. At the end of the day, we're going to judge these bodies on the stage, and that's it. You get caught slipping, you get caught slipping.
It's real. He came up, last year, and he was definitely on the radar. But, like Andre said, when you get caught slipping, you just the results are there. Like, the judges see what they see, and they judge off that. So you can't slip, man. No matter what you're going through, you got to stay on your game.
And look, man, it's not to say he looked bad either. He just slipped from where he was. He was still good enough to beat the whole rest of the field.
He's got some flaws in his physique he needs to fix to be able to stand next to you four. Even, I think with the four of you at your best and him at his best, he can't crack the top four with you four.
But this is the thing about the Olympia. He didn't come at his best. He was out of his mind. Out of your mind is past your best. And out of your mind, honestly, in my opinion, you can nail that look once, maybe twice a season. Like, even I know that. Out of the 6, 7 shows I'm doing, I know that out of my mind look, there's only 2 of those. There's only 3 of those. You're not gonna come 6 shows out of your mind in a season. And hey, you might come this year out of your mind for a couple shows, and next season you might never be able to hit it again.
Well, some people would say that's called learning your body. Some people might say. So let's shift gears then to a guy who had a lot of admiration for you when we talked to him this last year at Nationals, and who said you were really on his mind more than any other athlete going into the Arnold, and he ends up winning the Arnold in Ryan Terry. What are your thoughts on what's become of Ryan Terry, who basically came out of the woodwork and put himself on a map and now is in that top 4 with you 3?
Yeah, I give Ryan Terry a lot of respect, just because he works hard. You can't hate on that, something like that. And he's a good person from what I've known about him. You know, I don't hear any bad things about him. He works hard and he's a good person, so he did deserve that win at the Arnold. You know, I was off a little bit, and that's okay. You know, it was his blessing. I got my blessing last year. It was just his blessing this year, and he earned it. So I have nothing bad, you know, against him. But he's definitely on my radar. He's definitely my competition, and I'm definitely coming for him in September at Olympia.
Yo, dude is legit, bro. Everyone was saying, oh, you should have beat Ryan Terry. And like I've said before in the interview, should have is subjective. Could have, hey, I lost by 1 point. It could have been a toss-up. But do not try to take anything from that guy. Yo, he looks really good.
Now, you know, there's some, it's a very subjective sport, and there's some talk about, in bodybuilding, you talk about size, you talk about conditioning, you talk about, you know, dryness, talk about fullness. Same thing in classic physique. In your guys' division, it's very different. It's similar to bikini, as in a lot of it is also your genetic makeup. So Ryan Terry brings a fantastic physique. The way his physique flows is obviously second to none. That got him the win. However, if you're his midsection and his chest. However, if you're comparing body parts, when you talk about shoulders, both of you beat him in the shoulder department. When you talk about arms, both of you beat him in the arms department. When you talk about back, both of you beat him in the back department. So sometimes it's hard for us as fans to watch and say, hey, his physique flows really well. He has the best core in the IFBB. He has a great chest. However, there are some deficiencies in other areas, several areas,
but this is the thing. We're not judging body part for body part. So I hate when people go into subsegments and they say, oh, I had a better chest than that guy. Oh, I had better arms than that guy. No, it's about who has the best overall package.
But
it's not about who's drier.
Right.
It's not about who had bigger arms. It's about who overall.
But Andre, now you're talking about 4 body parts. Yeah, biceps, triceps, shoulders, and back. It's a lot of body parts.
But if it flows on your body, it flows on your body still.
Right. But again, now that's the subjective part, and now that I'm talking about is a little bit more about your division.
Yes.
Because if you have a classic physique competitor who flows really well, but you have another competitor who has bigger and better arms, biceps, triceps, shoulders, back, he's not going to win.
I think it's because of this. In our division, you have to look great standing there.
Right.
In all those other divisions, you get to flex to look good.
That's it.
That's true.
The pose.
Just standing.
And that's part of what I was trying to get all the way around to, so people can understand.
A lot of guys in classic, per se, wouldn't even look better than me and Brandon standing there. But they hit those poses and they'll smoke us.
and there's the difference, which is also part of that evolution that the two of you are talking about. You are 2 of the few guys in men's physique who could successfully, at any point in time that you choose, make a transition to classic physique and do very, very well, whereas a lot of the other men's physique competitors who like to talk about that division simply would not have the ability to make that transition.
But look, I'm going to be dead honest here. We wouldn't be successful right away. And
Not right away, of course.
And this is my thing. What do you consider successful? Because where we're at right now in this division, we wouldn't be there in classic right away.
No, of course
There's
not.
there's dudes in that classic physique division that are like, they have a shit ton of muscle. Like, it's a lot. People don't understand this. People think, oh, well, I didn't do good in men's physique, let me go to classic. Oh, they tell me I'm too big for men's physique. No, you're not too big for men's physique because you're actually not classic either. People think classic has to do with you having legs. No, classic is a shape and it's a look. Classic is about depth. It's about muscle. It's about mature density. Like, you can't just have muscle you've been working out for 2 years and do classic. Like, no, you have to have these thick, dense muscles.
Well, that's a big misnomer. Like you said, a lot of guys who say, oh, I'm too big for men's physique. And the majority of those guys aren't as big as the two of you sitting next to me.
That's the crazy part to me. It's like, dude, how are you too big for men's physique when I'm bigger than you? And look, they've never told me once to be easy on the size. Not once. Last year, they even told me, yo, you got some room to get bigger.
Well, that's interesting he says that because it looks like the two of you are about the same size, and you've been told on multiple occasions, be careful, you're getting too big for this division.
Yeah, a lot of times. A lot of times I've been told I've been too big or don't get any bigger. I really think it's just my bone structure with my added muscle mass. Almost like the Frank Zane look. You know, he was only 5'8", 190 pounds. I'm the same, small bone frame.
Small joints.
Small joints.
Right.
And a lot of dense muscle. So it makes me appear bigger than I actually am on stage.
You also have a lot of thickness, especially throughout your back, throughout your chest. You have what you were talking about. You have now developed dense, thick muscle, which is why you're at that point where you really can't get any bigger in this division.
But isn't that why we're at the top?
That is exactly why the four of you are at the top. You know, I really think it's no secret the two of you are about the most consistent athletes in this division. You guys are out there. Brandon, now you're deciding to compete even more. Reasons don't matter. It's the fact that you're now out here. You've been competing over and over and over and over.
And over.
And over. Where do you see the rest of this year going for you personally?
Yo, we got New York. We got Toronto the week after. Then we got Miami 2 weeks after that. I shut it down at Miami. That's 12 weeks to the Olympia. So I'll have a good 2 to 3, 4 weeks just to get my mind cleared out. And then, yo, dude, it's right back to the pavement. But with the 8 weeks left, that 2 to 4 weeks I have to clear my mind out, it's not like I'm going to be out of shape. Like, it's not like I'm going to be eating burgers every night. Like, I'm still going to be on my diet. I'm still going to be doing cardio.
Just that average New York pizza.
Ooh. You know I can't wait for pizza. That's it. Look, and he's smiling because we had the pizza conversation. Listen, don't listen to me, and it's New York has better pizza than
Chicago, guys. We know that.
Nope. Oh, see, now, yo, wait, hold up. We got a whole gym full of New Yorkers. I'll go over there and go get Big Lou. I'll get Steve. I'll get a whole bunch of people. But I'm not going to lie, though. That deep dish pizza is official from Chicago.
Andre, who's winning the New York Pro?
Me.
Andre, who's winning the Olympia this year?
Me. Come on.
Brandon, what do you see going on for the rest of the year for you?
You know, nobody even knew I was doing the New York Pro. I've been under the radar. I feel like it's less distraction, less pressure on me. So I got New York. Everyone found out this week, obviously. I'm here now. There might be a show in a town where I'm originally from that I might step on stage at. Stay tuned for that. And then I'll be back in Vegas in September. So
That sounds more like a gunner, not a might. That sounds more like a gunner.
Brandon, who do you honestly think is going to win the Olympia this year?
Olympia? Oh, I'm taking it this year.
You gotta say that.
Now you're here in New York. Yeah. You came here to take care of business. Yeah. Who's winning New York Pro?
Yeah, I'm taking New York Pro. I was here in 2014. I got 6th place. I got a taste of first call-outs, but I'm going to get these first call-outs, and I'm going for that win this weekend.
I'll tell you a little cool thing about the New York Pro. 2 years ago, I got tied for last. Last year, I got 2nd. This year, we're taking number 1.
Guys, this is set up to be nothing short of an epic battle. You really do have 2 of the best athletes in the world in a men's physique division. 2 guys who you never hear controversy about towards each other because there's nothing but the utmost respect. Their work ethic, the fact that they bring it, show in and show out. I'm excited to see it firsthand. I'll be right there in the front row. You guys stay tuned. We'll catch up with these guys after the show. But we also know that this battle's not over because we'll be sitting down doing the same thing again in September. And something tells me, well, we already know one of the 2 of them is going to win this weekend. But something tells me one of these 2 is going to be your next Mr. Olympia. On that note, Andre Ferguson, Brandon Hendrickson, Mandis Buckle, Maximum Muscle Report. Till next time, guys, we're out.